You mentioned in our culture we have maybe a hard time kind of exalting the human being or um yeah, I think that's a strain in our culture for a long time. It's like because it's tricky. You do have to balance it, right? Because we do participate in the divine in some way, but we're also very flesh and blood, human, animal, you know. There's just it's a very complex thing, you know.
Mhm.
I think that's some of the culture wars too, like with say about Darwinian evolution. To some people don't want to accept it. I think because they can see that it can't people can use that to say we're just animals. It's sort of like
Mm.
life is meaningless, like the Dawkins kind of meme, kind of idea that there's we're just the playthings of genetics and evolution. It's sort of life. You can kind of see life as purposeless, and certainly it's an attack on a lot of the traditional ideas of beauty, goodness, truth, meaning in life, Christian God or whatever. So yeah, it is a complex kind of balance. I think we often it's hard to balance. I think sometimes we in our culture now we sometimes go too far on the imminent side or imminent side, whatever, the non-transcendent side of just life is meaningless, and I think that shows up in some of our cynicism and sort of our difficulty kind of, I don't know, seeing grace or goodness in humans, and oftentimes there's this we sympathize with the sufferings a lot, but we don't have this sort of the godlike nature of us in mind too. So,
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I feel like when we were just sort of entering into this part of the dialogue, I was thinking of our modern culture as being sort of unwilling to bear the suffering the way Odysseus is encouraged to bear the suffering. We were
yeah,
talking a little bit, I don't know if it came up in the podcast, but I know part of our planning had been about like the aesthetics of the smooth for the
right.
podcast on beauty and just sort of the way we want everything to be easy and not have any friction and just kind of have no trouble. That seems to be wanting to be human, as you're saying, the immanence or whatever. I don't know the word either. So the sort of anti-transcendence, just being human, ignoring the godhood, but then also ignoring the fact that part of being human is to suffer and to bear up under that suffering and to continue on to try and find our true home, the way Odysseus sort of points us to. Um, we don't kind of want to do either of those things. We don't want to have a God that we're relating to, and we don't want to be human. And I mean, I guess it's hard to be human and bear up under suffering if you think there's no God, there's no salvation. It's just shitty suffering, or you ignore the shitty suffering.
Yeah, I think that's
So
that's some key to it.
yeah, yeah, that makes me sad. That's rough. Um, yeah, but that's why I like the Christ story so much. Is you have the story of bearing the cross. I mean, talk about bearing the cross until you're crucified on it, and then you rise. Then you're resurrected. You rise again.
Yeah,
Um, I think that's you know you could say Odysseus is very Christ-like. He bears the cross of loss of homeland while longing for home until finally, he's washed up naked on the shores of the Phaeacian lands, and then finally is brought home and is able to tell his story, relate all the trauma he's carrying, he's able to get it out of himself, and then he's whisked home on his magical ship.
yeah.
It's the easiest journey he's made the entire Odyssey is like how he finally gets home. It's just like that, no problem, as described in this chapter.
Please like and subscribe for more of our open-minded content, and comment below on your thoughts or questions about the story. Let us know if you'd like us to cover another stimulating story, and thank you for participating.